Our next leader is Mr. Andrew from B2B Broker. Mr. Andrew, I hope you've got your answer prepared. What is that one hidden talent or one talent you'd want everybody to know about you?
Hi, good afternoon. Well, a bit complicated question, to be honest. I would say it's devotion. Devotion to the goal.
Wow, wow. Devotion to God. So from orating to devotion to, we have Mr. Kapil Singh from QFX. Mrs. Singh, what would your answer be? By the way, orating devotion is taken. It's off the shelf.
I'm more dedicated to my work.
Dedication towards work. Hidden talent, maybe you're working. Oh, wow. And we have, of course, with us one leader that we've been constantly calling, somebody who's sharing as much screen time as I am, Mr. Ram Kumar from, of course, LBM. Mr. Singla, if there's anybody who shared as much screen time, is you, sir. Mr. Singla, what would your hidden talent be?
My hidden talent is just exploring a new kind of foods. So I'm in Mumbai, I'm exploring the foods out there.
Acha, food blogging, fantastic. So please take a seat. And of course, we have Mr. Sandesh from Yam Markets. Sandesh, sir, what a pleasure to have you. So the same question, hidden talent.
Well, my hidden talent is nothing to do with my profession. It's singing, which I'm not going to do it right now, today. So.
You're letting us know beforehand. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, I am the moderator for the session. Can I have one mic, please? So our very first question is for Miss Christina. Miss Christina, our very first question to you is, I think I'll have to, I'll come in a little front, not a problem. How traders should choose the asset class for safe trading? So the keyword here is safe.
Okay.
By safe, we mean we wouldn't want to lose any money.
Okay.
What would your ultimate strategy be for somebody who does not want to lose money and play it safe?
How many people think money making is easy? How many people? Okay, to the group. How many people of y'all think money making is easy? Anyone can even raise their hands. Okay, there's one person from the back. That's nice. And in what aspect would you say that money making is easy? Can you? Okay, I really think most of y'all are potential traders over here. Till now, in which asset have you guys actually traded and found that, like, I have benefited out of this? Only one pair. I'm going to use Forex. No, I'm going to use indices. No, I'm going to use commodities. This is giving me heaps and loads of benefits. There's no such thing as safe trading. It's only money management. You can trade in any kind of Forex pairs. You can trade in any kind of indices. You can trade in any kind of commodities. But you need to have money management. You need to understand the trend of the market. You need to understand and go in a flow. You can't specify a person, like, to follow one single strategy to follow a safe trading method. Every single pair, every single market is quite different. You have the Indian stock market as well. It's completely different from the Forex market, which we actually have internationally globalized. In the Indian market, it's only 24 hours. I'm just giving you an example over here. I'm sorry, it has a time zone, okay? It works in the Indian market time zone alone. But when you come to Forex, you work for 24 hours altogether. You have different kinds of currencies. So one market closes, the other market opens up. So I can say that every single currency pair or any commodity or indices has its own perks and benefits on trading. There's no such thing as safe trading. It's only mind play and money management.
We completely understand. So the question, Ms. Christina, lovely point, right? There is nothing, safe trading is maybe a myth for you. But is there any blueprint? Is there any steps that you take to sort of avoid the possibility? I think that is a better question to put.
To put honestly, I would say that money management. The only blueprint that can actually be forecasted over here is money management. No matter what kind of technical analysis you have, no matter how in-depth you analyze the market, if you think in that way, if people were able to analyze and understand the market well, don't you think we would all be billionaires over here? We would have tons of people. That would be fun, right? I mean, you would have beaten even Mukesh Ambani.
I don't think we'd be here in that. We'd be somewhere, some island. Fantastic.
Exactly.
I completely agree, ma'am. Completely agree.
So it's basically money management. There's no hardcore fast rule that you actually follow. No matter how many automations or autobots come in, how many people actually, score the market. You have people who have been in the arena for nearly 16 to 17 years but are not potential traders. But you have people in the market who are only there for 2 years but they are hell load of a trader and they understand the market like a pulse. So they don't follow anything like a hardcore strategy or technical analysis or something like that. It's just money management. I would say the blueprint is money management.
Great. I think Ms. Christina has, mentioned the word money management at least 7 to 8 times. That shows how important it is, right? That is absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday itself also we had a panel discussion wherein we asked one of our leaders, okay, any investment for keeping our money safe. Again, it was repeated, nothing is safe. Okay, so point noted, not a problem. Our next question is for Mr. Andrew. Mr. Andrew, from safety to let's now take a little bit of risk. Risk is involved, not a problem. And let's start making a little money. So what would your strategy be for profitable trading with a little bit of risk involved as well?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. First of all, for profitable trading, a few aspects should be mentioned and should be emphasized, that's for sure. First of all, every single person who's going to take this risk, let's put it this way, and going to start trading, must have a detailed trade plan. What assets are going he trade, right? What will be his trading portfolio? What derivatives he's going to invest in, so on and so forth. Of course, proper risk management always, and the market research, whether you're using fundamental or technical analysis, what is more suitable according to your trading strategy. And of course, every single time that you're analyzing and making your own research, you should understand the fact that entering the trade is one step, right? You should always take it into consideration. You should always control what is going on. You should always be aware, and that is why your risk management should be done, I wouldn't say it on a daily basis, right? On an hourly even basis, even more frequent. Unfortunately, right, and unlikely, trading might be risk-free. It's barely possible, but yes, some of the key steps, and of course, the main part that I would like to emphasize is to keep your emotions aside, because you're investing, right, and you should be 100% sure in what are you doing, or at least be ready to take that risk.
Fantastic, fantastic. Mr. Andrew, there's a very, very famous line in India. It became super hit. We were having a discussion on that in the morning itself, right? It's around risk. The line is risk hai to ishq hai, which basically means you need, even in love, there is a lot of risk. So there's risk everywhere, basically. That is, I mean, if you want to use this line for the next conference to sound like one of you are Indians, you should definitely use that line.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our next question is for Mr. Sandesh. Sandesh sir, if we...
Hello.
Yeah. So if we ask you, right, as a mature trader and a mature leader in this industry that you are, if you had to predict the international market for a long-term view for traders, what kind of strategy should one plan for trading in Forex and CFDs?
Okay. So, good morning, everybody. See, this is very critical viewpoint to predict a market. See, nobody can predict a market, but you can plan through the analysis that what may going to happen. This commodity, you ask about crude oil and gold. So, gold and crude oil, these are the most heavily traded commodities. There are a lot of geopolitical influences on these commodities. So instead of planning a long-term view, you must plan a medium-term to short-term view, because long-term view may not work for gold and crude oil kind of commodities. So going forward, see, if you want to trade into crude oil, you have to look into the geopolitics, what is happening, how the demand and supply is playing. So currently, the demand was very high due to what is happening between Ukraine and Russia. Everybody knows about that. Now, since the things are cooling off, the demand is naturally going to go down. So the prices of crude oil as well as gold is going to go down. Because see, crude oil, we understand the demand is going to cool off. In case of gold, gold is considered to be a safe haven. If anything destabilize the economy, world economy, or the entire world harmony, then everybody look at the gold as a safe haven. The money flows into gold. Now, once the situation is under control, everything is cooling down, the demand for gold is naturally going to reduce. So, coming forward in a span of short to medium term, I think gold and crude oil prices should cool down. It should come down. So, It's not only technical analysis, you have to look into fundamentals, you have to look into geopolitics when it comes to gold and crude oil kind of commodities.
Fantastic, sir. Sir, I genuinely appreciate how you sort of did not want to predict. You're like, okay, Nikita, get one thing straight. If the only prediction we can make is there's a 50% chance of something happening. So that is the only prediction that we can make.
Yes, for long term is concerned. And majority of traders today, they are more interested and inclined towards intraday. So day trading is totally different from predicting a market ahead. So for day trading, one small, you can say, a strategy we can discuss about is, have you ever used VWAP, volume weighted average price, VWAP? Because that is one indicator which take into a calculation two things, volume and price. Because price is the most leading indicator in all type of asset classes, tradable instruments, and that is when calculated along with volume. So that gives you a price volume correlation, and that is the core fundamentals of price action. So weighted volume VWAP indicator you can use along with volume or along with stochastics or along with RSI on 5 minutes and 15 minutes time frame will give a very good indications or directions or trend analysis for day trading.
Fantastic, sir. Sir, I think Money Expo 2022, day 1 as well as day 2 is almost like a short course to anything finance. We love to hear these golds and diamonds that, these words of wisdom are absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Our next question is for Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh, sir just mentioned about these volatile assets like currencies, gold, crude oil. What would you say that traders should be prepared for when it comes to these volatile assets?
If we are coming to the Forex market, it's more dedicated from the fundamentals. Since last few many years, we are seeing that our market is driven by the fundamentals. See, just our friends have mentioned that we have to check what's happening in the geopolitically, basically what conditions are going on to the country specific, to the world specific. The fundamentals, when fundamentals are moving our market, so it's very tough to predict a market basically. When we are coming to the gold and other assets, so these are directly connected to the world's economy. So basically, in volatility, this is very hard to predictable, and only the key focus to be manage your risk while doing trading. So this is the key point where we need to focus always. Just only the key we can make towards the more profit is the risk management. So risk management is very important.
Sir, as somebody who's genuinely interested in making or expanding a portfolio, right, you should have a very good mix of both volatile and non-volatile assets. What would you say is that percentage of non-volatile asset, investment in them should be? From a holistic point of view, of course.
See, again, it's very tough to predict a market what asset going to be, because it's when we are coming to the currency pairs, these are basically country specific. And what happening in that country, just we need to watch regularly to check the fundamental status. Of course, market is more towards to the technical also, but as we can see, the COVID situations, the war conditions, they always just drive the market. It's really unpredictable that which currency pair is going to be more volatile. Just we need to very close to the fundamentals basically. What actually happening in the geopolitics, what happening in the country. So these are the very major key points.
Got it, sir. Got it. I think we've got our answer is to keep our eyes and ears open and then probably start with, investing our money. Next question is for Mr. Singla. Mr. Singla, what are the expectations of Asian traders from financial brokers to trade efficiently and effectively in the capital markets?
See, as I told in my presentation, if I ask in Asia, so India is the second largest country in terms of cryptocurrency trading and in the stock market and definitely in the matter of money. So Indian traders are right now they are learning a lot of things, working on a kind of new projects. Even in our stock market, even a lot of companies are coming. Basically, Indian companies are coming. Especially, I talk about in Indian companies. If I especially talk about in a recent years, you can see that Mahindra Autos has done a very good work in car companies. So they are giving a good competition to the foreign companies. So that kind of things that are happening in India. A lot of companies are working hard. So that's the thing, Indian investors are ready to invest in the market. It's a very good, in upcoming year, investors will definitely put a lot of money in the market.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I think...
Excuse me.
Yes.
May I add something?
Please,
here?
please do, sir.
See, the question here was what Asian traders expect from a broker. See, the main problem with this kind of broking like Forex and crypto is investors are looking at two things importantly. One is seamless and hassle-free deposits and withdrawals. That should happen from the broker. See, I can see smiling faces. So if that is been taken care of, then next is spread should be tight. It should be competitive spreads. Okay. And then we look into the regulation part of the broker. If broker should be multi-regulated, it should be regulated in with good regulators, not some hazy or shady kind of regulators. So if all these criteria are matching, then you are working with a good broker. Otherwise, you should avoid any such a broker where you have doubts related to its existence, its registration, its regulation, its withdrawal, deposit, spreads. So I think these are main important criteria one should look into the brokers.
Fantastic answer, sir. Sir, I'm massively impressed with how all of you, right, our leaders sitting on this side of the stage and that side of the stage, the kind of profession that you are in, right? Investing your own hard-earned money requires you to be very knowledgeable and worldwidely. Like you should be aware of geopolitical issues are happening, this is happening, that is happening. So that is absolutely fantastic. I mean, wow, I'm just massively impressed. My respect for all of you is just increased to the point that, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to open the forum. We've got about 10 minutes remaining. So open forum, sharp 10 minutes is when we end. And yes, our leaders, ladies and gentlemen, make the most of it. You don't know when is it that the next volatile asset or of their gold suggestions you will get next. So make the most of it. Any questions? Now is the time. Yeah.
Somebody's
सर लास्ट सर ने जो बताया
Sir, you took 30 seconds. आपको पता था आपको सवाल पूछने. Still you took 30 seconds. Not a problem. So what's your name? Which company और आपका क्या सवाल?
I'm Mushtaq Sheikh, coming from Nasik. I am an investor, new investor. जस्ट सर ने लाइक बताया कि अभी जो बहुत सारे ये स्कैम हो रहे तो इन्वेस्टर लाइक सोच रहा है क्या होना चाहिए. तो सर एग्जैक्टली क्या रेगुलेटर हम चेक करना चाहिए, क्या ये ब्रोकर के साथ हम जाना चाहिए ऐसा एग्जैक्टली क्या रेगुलेशन हम
there are so many regulations because see lot of countries, more than 100 countries, they are giving regulation to forex brokers, but to the high standard. FCA is the highly regulated, high standard regulator is FCA, Financial Conduct Authority of London. But very few FCA regulated brokers, they are operating in India. Second is a CISEX, which is of Cyprus. Then you have Mauritius, then you have Singapore regulations, then you have Cayman Islands regulation. So any of this or multiple, then you have regulations from Belize, British Virgin Islands. They are considered to be a good regulation. Australia is again of high standard. So broker with any of these or multiple of these regulated can be a good broker. Anybody
Great.
on this?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Any more questions? Yeah.
Sir, you just said the gold price will decrease, but we know the gold is inflation hedge, so it means the inflation will decrease and DXY will decrease.
Yes, sir, because see, inflation has already crossed its limit across the globe. And every government, not government, I must say, every central bank is taking measure to reduce or to control the inflation. And yesterday, what happened, you must have seen, yesterday or day before yesterday, the consumer price index of USA has come down less. So that this is a first indication of cooling down of your inflation. So the moment this data is released, gold made a spike. Okay? But that was only temporary. But if you see this spot indices, they shoot up very sharply. Why? It is not because the inflation or CPI came less. The effect of CPI coming less is there are chances that Fed may not increase the interest rate by 75 basis point. They may now increase it to 50 basis point. So there is a cooling of 20 basis point, 25 basis point. So this is how slowly and gradually the things will come down to normal. And that is why I made this point that the demand for gold may be a little less. Then again, because of this Ukraine and Russia issue, what happened is, though the war was confined to a territory, it has disrupted the supply chain. That is why crude oil shortage was been, you can say, created. Now the demand is same, supply is regaining. So because of that also, crude oil prices may come down. So these are the two reasons. And yes, nobody can afford inflation more than a ratio. See, for India, 6% of inflation is what our Fed, our central bank says that we can take that much hit, 6%. So anything above 6% is not acceptable. Same thing for USA, it is 3%, not even 3%. They want to bring it to 2%. So just imagine from 7% to 2%, if they bring down, then the demand for gold is naturally going to fall down.
Sir, I have a question for you. How are you remembering all these numbers?
So that is what we do day in, day night.
this is what you do day in and day night. If you go to sleep and we ask you something, you talk in numbers. I completely understand. We actually do not have time. We've run out of time. Last question, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. I'm Shubh Gupta from Phillip Capital. My question is to the man sitting right next to Sir. So you asked this question that what should Asian investors or Asian traders expect from the Indian capital markets, and you somewhat answered that foreign investment, that new investment should come. Why would you think that new investment should come into the Indian capital markets? Because like a lot of companies are shelling out a lot of employees, because of what's happening globally with inflation and everything. A lot of companies are believing in keeping liquid cash. So why would they invest at a time like this?
See, as I told, the thing is, the companies are shedding the employees because the thing is, if you see in a last year, companies hired people without knowing about the salaries. As we know, we see the market, companies hired the people. If someone is working in a package of 12 lakh, he said, "I demand is for 40." Company said, "Ajo. We need people." So companies are hired massively, and they have some wrong hirings. So that's why companies are shedding. But what my perspective is, a lot of Indian companies are working very good in terms of products, in terms of technologies. This is the only thing that Indian companies are working very good. So foreign investors will definitely come, will definitely work with the Indian companies. So the companies are shedding the employees, as you see. There is some companies that are the foreign based. The investors from the foreign are coming towards the Indian companies. So that's the only thing that I think that investors will come and definitely invest the money in Indian companies.
So that's a very touchy topic. I completely understand. It is so touchy that we would actually request you to kindly take this offline. We've unfortunately run out of time. Thank you so much for the questions, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to all our amazing leaders. What a perspective, as diverse as it can be. Thank you so much. And yeah, there's one photograph waiting for all of you.